Welcome to Rails, Tales, and Trails. Guys, we're going to be talking about something that we affectionately call in the industry bomb trains. What are they? What the heck do they carry? And why do we call them that? Here we go. So a bomb train is what us railroaders have nicknamed this thing. Hazmat train, tanker train, technically called a key train. And quite frankly, management hates the name, but it's true. It's a hazmat train. And if that sucker right there derails, well, you got a mess on your hand. Just take for example what happened in Lac-Mégantic. That was a bomb train. Derailed. And these trains right here, they're freaking massive. They're absolutely massive. Now, they're not like 3-4 miles long, but you're talking upwards of 100 so tank cars, some engines, a set of buffer cars. And these things can carry upwards of 3 million plus gallons of product at any given time. So you just do the math and figure out if this entire thing right here derailed and caught on fire, what it would look like. The disaster in Ohio was just a few cars. This is close to 100 cars, 100 plus cars. Do the math. Now, these bomb trains carry all kinds of materials. It can be gasoline, it can be diesel, crude oil, molten sulfur, vinyl chloride, you name it. Just about every chemical hazmat product out there can be carried by rail. There are fewer products that can't be carried by rail than what can. And some of these, well, I hate to say it, I mean, gasoline and diesel can be pretty bad. But then you start naming off things like molten sulfur, vinyl chloride, hydrochloric acid, you name it. A lot of these things can be carried by rail. And back in the day, believe it or not, nuclear weapons were also carried by rail, which I'm going to do another video on that one entirely because it's actually a pretty cool thing. So like I said before, the technical name for a bomb train / hazmat train is called a key train. Essentially, there's different regulations of what one makes up a key train to have it be considered a key train. And then two, the operating rules. Once you're a key train, a different set of rules, inspections, and operating rules come into play that we have to adhere to. But some of these rules, well, it's kind of funny. So let's take, for example, if I had 20 loaded tanker cars of gas, those 20 cars is enough for that train to be considered a key train. So you could have 20 cars of gasoline, loaded cars of gasoline, and then have other freight attached to it. There are also some kind of cars out there that it takes just one loaded car. Let's say, for example, anhydrous ammonia. It's considered an inhalation hazard. That one car attached to any train out there automatically makes it a key train. So there's some variations out there, but the funny thing is, let's say we had that mixed freight train that we had 20 loaded gasoline cars on. If we take one of those cars away and now we have 19 loaded gasoline cars, that train's no longer considered a key train. Do the math on that and figure that one out. With that said, and kind of just giving you the basics of that, these trains are called bomb trains for good reason. If one of these dedicated key trains, aka bomb trains, was to completely derail, you would see a disaster the size of Lac-Mégantic, or, probably about 5 to 10 times the size of what happened in East Palestine, because they go boom. Check out some of these other videos. These are from hazmat disasters on the railroad. This should give you an idea, because remember, like the gas on the vinyl chloride, that was heavier than air. So that means that it sits down above the ground. It doesn't go up in the air and dissipate. Those are dangerous because many of those kinds of gases, not only are they toxic, but they're also deadly because they're at ground level and they move like a fog. Check this out.
We just had a huge explosion. We've got massive fire out here on Dudley here at the rail yard. All kinds of stuff on fire. Right there. Just lost power down here on the hill. 10-4. Jill and I, you might want to back your unit up. Get your ass out of my road. Get the hell up out of here. Go ahead. Front Street, and I can see the explosion. Oh, in Front Street, there's smoke all the way in here. 10-4.
So make no mistake, these trains are dangerous. The potential for a hazardous mishap is there. Now, if you see one of these, you might be wondering, is this a key train? Well, a dedicated key train is pretty simple to identify. Like this video here, World of Trains, these guys here show, right here, shows a dedicated engine consist, a buffer car, the block of tanker cars, and then you have another buffer car. Sometimes you'll have engines on the rear of the train, sometimes you won't. But if you see one of these trains and they're not loaded, well, that's not a key train. That's essentially just another regular train. However, when they're loaded, that's when they become bomb train. So guys, that's what a bomb train is. I appreciate you guys tuning in for this video. We're going to have more flying down the line talking about these bomb trains and hazmat and how to identify them and operating rules. And we're going to cover some myths versus facts on other videos. Till then, like, subscribe, share these videos. Check out our Between the Rails podcast. You can find the link for it down below. Also, check out our merch store. Helps us keep bringing content to you guys and gals. Appreciate every one of you guys. Here we go.